Good morning, good morning, good morning. And thank you for coming on Let's Talk Sports and Entertainment with C. How you doing?
Hello, hello, hello. How's it going? How's it going? Good morning. Happy
Morning.
Juneteenth.
Happy Juneteenth. So, what is going on? You said you're up in New York City, so I guess you are working on something. So, what is happening?
Yeah, I just got done being a PA on a set that I can't fully explain and say who and say how, but I can just say that it's a new series that is like based upon New York police and New York gangsters, New York mob and stuff like that. And a couple of actors, also actors from Rhode Island that you may know of. Were in it, and I got called out of the blue while I was on an actual another set where a bunch of young cats out here in New York were basically doing great work on like a podcast slash prankster show that almost kind of reminded me of Impractical Jokesters a little bit. But someone
Okay.
called me, yo, Ari, yo, we need you on the phone real quick. Director, producer hit me up as a PA and basically told me, long story short, that he needed an extra PA, not an actor. I said, you know what? This will probably add to the repertoire in my belt of like not just performances, but just work on the set and learning how movies are made, what it takes to make movies. Who are the contributors that really add into the movies, and just all around connecting with all different types of people of backgrounds and colors and like different generations of actors. And I was blessed to be on this set. And who got me that was Vega Montanez. I just got done filming a movie called Bird in the Nine Lives. It's going to be premiered actually in New York at a very small premiere. I'm going to be posting that on my social media very soon on where and how to get those tickets. And Vega went to school at Hope High School maybe 2 to 3 years after I graduated. And he furthered his career as a writer, as a producer, and coincidentally, a TV host. And out of the blue, I just said, yo, congratulations on all your work. At that time, I was probably just working, not really doing any acting, kind of not really doing what I love to do. And he was like, what are you doing? Like, why are
Right.
you not doing this? Like, bro, when we were in high school, you were the guy of acting and all that stuff. So it just kick-started like my whole career jumping back into with him and then falling back in Rhode Island and touching base with Tom DiNucci, who just got
Okay.
done doing Johnny and Clyde. Go see that. It's all over streaming and everything. And
Okay.
Tommy is one of those guys in the industry that has made it so successfully, but still uses his Rhode Island contacts and his connections and his still films out there.
That's
So
what's
I've
up.
been blessed to have great work that sometimes I'm not even auditioning for. And that is a lesson to any actor, any performer. Always try to work with the people that you see that are doing probably a little bit more than you. You can probably learn a little bit more from them, and they do probably know more. And then they'll keep you in the back pocket in their Rolodex of actors and performers. Sometimes the auditions don't always work, but it's good to have that on the side when that's not working. And yeah, it's been crazy. It's just nonstop. Like ever since that happened, it's like, okay, I need you for this, I need you for that. Sometimes it's not always acting, or they need a consultant on some acting tips or improv, and that's just where
Mhm.
my expertise lie in.
So, to bring it back to what Mr. Vega said, you always
Mm,
was like into acting when we were growing up. Like it was even if we were like playing, it turned into acting somehow, some way for you.
yeah, yep.
Where did that come from? Where does the love for improving acting come from?
Well, I just got done coming from Tribeca Film Festival, and it was New Jack City, watching
Okay.
Scarface and all that stuff, but then watching Nino Brown and then looking at Wesley and Alan Payne and all these black faces and Chris Rock. Chris Rock stole the show of that New Jack's movie.
That's
Anyways,
a
I don't know if
classic.
anybody. Oh, it's a classic.
That's a classic.
So it was
Hmm.
like this was this was a pioneering movie that basically started these these questions like, okay, this is a Black woman from the
We're having some technical difficulties here. But we'll get through this with Mr. Ari, Mr. Brisbon.
all right, but mm,
It's okay. It's okay. Listen, technical difficulties happen. So
yes,
I
yes,
had asked you, you said New Jack City. So you was talking about all these beautiful Black people in the
yes,
movie.
and
Um,
yep, but yeah, in high school, Hope High School, there was a theater teacher by the name of Christine Oxier. She she threw Othello to me, and the way I was reading it almost reminded me of how like Nas's Illmatic album was. It was way beyond his years, timeless classic, and I started understanding these words just by acting them out and kind of presentating them, and it just created a love of like text, and it created a love of as a child that grew up in group homes back and forth and stuff like that. I always yearned for a kind of love from the community, and when it came to being on stage, I felt this power. I felt this enigmatic like feeling that I can really teach and inspire people to really pay attention to what's going on with me, even if there's not really my words but my pain as well. And I just really related to that. And after the high school, I would go to a like literally after school was done, I would go to a local theater called Carriage House, and now it's called Everett Company Stage and School. And they taught hip hop dancing from Sokia Ross to Case Close, and they did improv classes. And I joined both. Sucked at hip hop, but I didn't quit. And I so bad, and it was okay because he never stopped me because I just kept going and I kept proving myself that even if I'm not the best dancer, I'm going to be a performer. And the improv classes is where I really thrived. And we started improv shows and stuff like that. And yeah, it like that's really where it kicked off. It was just the love of movies and the love of just seeing Black men that I can relate to, and just like honestly relate to the stories and bring that back into my life and try to find out some type of transcendence.
okay, so when you hear the word acting or improv, what is the first thing that comes to your mind?
Me, because I'm both.
I know that's right. Talk to him. Yes.
It's me.
I know that's right. Because
It's it
usually when you ask people that, it's more of like, somebody else or a goal in mind. But like for you to be the first person, like no matter whether it's about sports or in just general, I love the fact that you said yourself,
Yeah,
because we want to speak all these things into existence for ourselves, but the only way we gotta make it happen is if we start speaking it and making it happen.
yes, yes.
When you okay, so I want to talk about when you first went for a gig and you got your first no, I should say, for your first role. How did you
Mm.
handle that?
I asked the what you call adjudicator, the judge, are they teaching any acting classes? And I jumped
Ooh,
into those acting classes, and
okay.
I kept showing up. I don't take a no. I'll listen to it and say thank you, but I'm the employer. I mean, excuse me, I'm the employee that you hired after I've shown up to the job 37 times in the month asking if the job is available
Okay.
versus having the expertise of that job and only showing up once.
And
That's
when it
always been my job.
and do the judicator, as you would say, um, are they often easy with giving you those directions as far as giving you the classes, or are there some, in every world or brand of business, are there some that are like, no?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean the work the line that they say is thank you, we'll give you a call.
Okay.
Thank you, we'll give you a call. When you know you have a yes, they won't say yes. They will be like, can you say this? Can you take these lines? Can you do these lines? Can you do
Okay.
these lines? Okay, thank you. We'll give you a call. It's it's a buildup of self-preservation and self-awareness. Because when you go into that audition, you're not that character. You're yourself for 3 seconds. Then you give them the performance. So you have to make sure when you jump in, hello, my name is Ari Brisbon. I'm 34 years old from Providence, Rhode Island, and I'm doing a scene from Hamlet, Act 5, Scene 2. That's you. That's it. That's all they want to hear. And then you jump into that character. And it's when you hear the no, it could be a negative no and rejection, but it can also be within criticism. You can ask somebody outside if they're still around, was there anything that I needed to work on? Was it projection? Did it look like I understand what I was saying? Did I articulate right between vowels and consonants or something like that? And 9 times out of 10, they will tell you because these people in the business have no time for, fake, run around type words. They will give you the business. Now, are you a person that can take that type of criticism? And if you're not that person that can take that type of criticism, then you probably can't handle a breakup in real life because that's what it is sometimes. It's a
Right.
breakup. And I hate breakups. I don't like it. I don't like being the person that says it. But I do find it easier when you are a person that's taking it because you don't have to come up with this conversation that you have to prepare yourself to
Right.
end everything. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's definitely a mental thing more than it's physical.
And at this point in your career, has there been anybody that you've looked up to, as far as it can be home, in the acting like world, already famous, or just someone you have met that you look to um for advice, to, or when you get a bunch of no's, or you just someone to lean on?
I lean on my lovely lady.
Okay.
I also I lean on people that are in the business.
Okay.
What we forget sometimes is that we try to, I wouldn't say impress, but we try to kind of show the people that we know that are not necessarily in the business. And it's not like they don't support you, but the people that are in the business and in the industry will give you the support that you need based upon the criticism that you're looking for. And they'll be like,
Mm,
Ari, I didn't really enjoy that performance because I know you have done better. So therefore, maybe you need to kind of ask somebody that's within the realm of the character's life because you've never experienced this type of hurt. Like I would always go to my homeboys, my peoples that I've grown up with, if it comes to a role where I play a father. I've never fathered a child. I've never taken care of a child in that sense. So I would always observe. I would always ask questions. But most of all, most importantly, the observations is where it's at because sooner or later, something's going to happen where you totally relate to them. And that
mm,
and that's what I look for, and that's what I've learned from theater is the aesthetic distance. When you aesthetically look at somebody, you may not necessarily agree with this
right.
character, You know what I'm saying? This character's crazy. Like Evan Peters and Jeffrey Dahmer. I'm pretty
Right.
sure Evan Peters doesn't like the fact that he's in the story eating black people. But at the same time, where did he find the relatively like closeness that humanized Jeffrey Dahmer? Even if that story is horrific as it is, he's still a human being. He didn't
Right,
just
right, right.
wake up like this. How did he gradually get there? And when Evan found that out, he was able to transcend that performance. And I, you know, it was still a haunting performance because you never seen Evan Peters in that whole movie. You saw Jeffrey. And that's what I perfectly am very intimately like perfectionist on that with me. Because if I can't bring that character out, I won't do it.
I
I
was
won't
gonna
do it.
ask you, like, how can you, what are some ways that you make sure you stay the actor and you stay you? Because I know, and sometimes some people can't get away from the acting part,
Mm,
like when they're
kill
playing,
your
like,
ego.
you
Kill your
know,
ego.
kill your ego. Because look at the
Kill,
Joker.
Yes, 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 yes. I knew that was coming right away. What it was is that, and I don't personally know Heath, but what it was is that sometimes some people can see that an actor can blend certain personal things of that character into their personal life. From what
Mm,
I've understand is that Heath already had those problems before he even played that character. Just maybe the character was a catalyst of other things that just piled up on what he was already dealing with, because he can easily jump into that character, and we seen that he was the Joker, and it was a timeless performance. But there was a
timeless.
movie that he did after that called The Emporium of Dr. Lazarus, where he played a character that was played by 5 different people, and he played it superbly. None of the Joker's accents or little mannerisms or something like that was a part of that performance. So I know a lot of people get scared where actors dive into the method and stuff. And personally, in my opinion, there is no method, there is no technique, there is nothing that brings out this personal character and intimacy unless you have found certain darkness in you to project
Mm,
that. And that's where us as all artists find our creativity, is when our in our darkness. And I was going to comment on athletes where it's real hard for them to kill their ego, because that's what helps them drive to win. That Kobe Mamba shit. Where did that come from? That came from what? And I just had this discussion the other day with a couple of guys. Like, what was Kobe's like thing? They said, "Oh, championships." This. I'm like, no, he wanted to beat Jordan. He wanted to be better than him, and he said that he was better. But what did Kyrie say to Kobe? The same thing. I'm better than you. I'll play you and cross you. And it's just that type of ego doesn't exist in the creative art world, in the industry. It exists. Don't get me wrong. It exists, but it only brings you so far, because everybody else has an ego. The director has an ego. The writer has an ego.
right,
And
right,
it's
right.
just, as an actor, personally, you have to kill that ego sometimes to get to those certain characters. Because there's some actors that get roles that are just plain based on their looks. And
Mm.
we know it. You know it. Like, it doesn't take a person in the industry to know that this actor is freaking acting and he sucks. And it's just
Oh, we know. We
it's
know.
just we know who they are, and we know what they do. But you know
Right.
what? They do it so well that certain people are
Look
pertain to that
past
type of
it. Right.
entertainment.
Right.
Exactly. Did
Okay.
I answer your question?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Thank God.
Um,
Just let me know when I'm
when it
nuts.
comes to you, or does it depend on the role? Do you prefer improv or acting?
I prefer both. I prefer working with the director that's also an actor,
Okay.
because they allow, in my experience, they allow the actors to, okay, if there's certain lines and certain words that are just not really working and stuff like that, then the director will allow the actors to kind of get to their performance type. Again, to New Jack City, there were certain scenes between Alan Payne and Wesley Snipes that wasn't necessarily written, especially the scene on the rooftop. That wasn't really like the whole course of like feeling and action and the tearing and the crying. Some of that wasn't really written in there. That was just Mario Van Peebles being the director and letting the actors act and just say action and then cut. Hey, was that a good take? Oh, I felt it was a good take. Do you want to do it again? And that's something that I've learned with Vega Montanez. He will have what he wants and ask his actors, do you feel comfortable with this? Because we can do it again if you want, but if anything, we're moving on because there's a time frame, there's a deadline, and we got to get this thing done. So it's like you have to be able to sometimes trust the process and trust the ensemble. And that's where a lot of actors, I think, forget, where you in the improv helps you stay close to that ensemble because you want to go into this world where you think this is the way it performed, but you're forgetting the person in the scene. You're forgetting that connection between that human being. And that's where you feel that feeling where in any scene, in any acting performance or something like that. It's like, damn, can you really convince the audience at one point, like, damn, this is really happening right now? Like, these dudes are gonna kill each other. Oh my God. And that's what I look for right there. That's what I look for. I like it when people jump out of the performance and be like, dude, you're so good, but I hated you in that movie. I'm glad you hated me. You were supposed to
because
hate me.
I felt that because like that's like how some characters just stick. Like, no, I don't like her. Ever since she played that role, it's like, nope, I don't like her no more. Like, no, for real. But they played the role so well. It's like with Sanaa Lathan in that Tyler Perry movie when she did that to her husband. Oh, I wanted to bang
The Family
her.
That Prays.
Yes,
The Family
like,
That
you
Prays.
do that to him, and then you got played in the end. That's what you get. But yes, but she played the role so well. But I get it, and those are the roles that I want to see because you put your foot in that role. Like, she did the damn thing. Go ahead, girl.
Yeah,
but she's such a good actress.
The actor that played her husband is a really good actor too. Because like, if he wasn't good enough for that chemistry, then you wouldn't have been angry at her. You would have been like, oh well, he's kind of a sub anyway. So I get that you did that to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you felt bad for him. Like, you looked in his eyes and it's just like, oh brother, don't cry. Don't cry, brother. Don't do it.
So speaking of actors or actresses, do you have any favorites?
Oh God, oh geez, it's my toss up is between I try to always look for actors. I you know who's really starting to really impress me right now? Well, first of all, John David Washington, Denzel Washington's son, is just a knockout. He's a knockout. He's one of those guys that I was just like, at first I was like, okay, I give him a chance. I know it's his father, who's his father, and it's like, that's like a hard shoe to fit in when you are someone's son and you are that son, and this actor is Denzel Washington. But he's superb. He's great. He really takes his time with understanding not just the character development, but the character development that's connected to the context of the writing, and he's just really well rounded around it. And it's just like, I gotta give kudos to him. Christian Bale is top notch, just top notch. A lot of people think he's crazy. A lot of people think he's this, but that's why you get the big bucks because he does those roles. Denzel, obviously, Don Cheadle.
I love Don.
Yeah. And he likes to do film and theater. That's like the most important thing about a film actor that has that experience. John David has a mom that is like a theater actress, and then you have Denzel Washington that's a film actor. So he has the best of both worlds. So I feel like I'm on that way to that caliber. And one of my favorite who is the oh my God, what is the actress? Oh, what's her name? Of course, Angela Bassett. It's just she's royalty. She's good. She's royalty. She's just I actually seen a glimpse of her hair walk into her truck. at the Tribeca
Yeah,
Film
it's
Festival.
worthy. It's
Listen,
worthy.
listen. I talked to her publicist. That's the only as close as I can get to her because that security was not playing around. They were
I
like,
bet.
they were not
Hmm.
playing around with them New Yorkers with her. But she's just at the top. What is the girl's name that played? I think her name begins with a G that played on Snowfall. That was Homegirl's girlfriend that ended up becoming a drug addict, but
I
she
have
got
no
clean
idea.
afterwards. I'm gonna find that out. But she was amazing. She was amazing. She made me cry during that show. And not only the show was great, but I humanized with her because listen, it was like, yo, like she became a drug addict after he was already balling after drugs. And it's like, dude, this is your responsibility. And there was so many women at that time in the 80s, so many men that were just going through all those problems and stuff. So we're the product of those people, we're 80s babies. So like just to see that vision of what was really going on then and then seeing her pain, it was just like me as a black man, I was like, we got to do better as black men. We got to do better. We got to take care of our queens, man, because this is fucked up. So I just had to
You know it.
I had to stop watching. I had to stop watching that show after that performance because it just set me off in like so many different weird ways.
You know when it
It
hits
was
wrong.
crazy, but not yeah, but that's where the thing. Congratulations to the girl that played Ariel too. That was
They
you know
Chloe. Yeah, she did an
yes,
amazing job. It
Chloe
was.
is
I was very skeptical about going to see the movie because, our childhood movies, I feel like they should not be remaking. But, I was very satisfied because it stayed to the original. So I was very happy watching it.
okay.
Some of
Okay.
the stuff I seen people say, well, this is the devil. I'm just like, oh my God. But everyone's entitled to
It's
their own
listen,
opinion
it's
about the
art.
movie.
It's art, guys. It's art. That's all
That's
it
the
is. It's
part I'm
art.
trying to get people to see, that things are not, it's look at it that way at an artistry level. But
Mm.
but like I said, people are entitled to their own opinion, so I try not to go dive deep into those conversations. But before I let you
Mm-hmm.
go, I have this one important question for you. If
Go
you could
ahead.
describe your acting skills, your improv skills, right, in
Oh
one
boy.
word, what would it be?
Timeless. Timeless
Ooh.
because there's no if you can look at Anthony Hopkins and Morgan Freeman still acting, there's no finish line to this. There's finish line to basketball. There's finish line in the game, but then you can still coach. And that's why a lot of basketball players and ballers of all sorts in the athletics end up coaching or end up going back to the kids. And that's what my beautiful thing that I love doing is growing in this industry, but going back to Providence, Rhode Island and teaching it to the youth that can't really afford arts-based classes and stuff like that. And just they want to have a career in this thing because all my gifts and my talents, they were given to me by, a benevolent force. And it's not mine to keep. It's mine to share. It's mine to inspire. And that's why I say it's timeless. It's just timeless. Damn, I'm surprised I even came up with that word.
That
Woo, good
is
job, Eric. Woo.
fire. Yes, Ari. So how can anybody want to get to know you more, see what you worked on? How can the audience find you?
Yes, yes. You can watch me play a teacher in a children's comedy called Mr. Birthday on Tubi and all streaming platforms. Burden of Nine Lives is coming out soon. I have at least I can't say it, but I have at least 3 Lifetime movies that I'm a part of that is going to be airing on television. Yes, I've been working. I've been working.
I
I've
love
been
to
working.
see
So
it.
yeah.
Talk to them.
Thank you. I will definitely let you know. But my Instagram is at me Ari B. Yes, meet me because everything that you see is going to be me and what I do and what I give to the world and what the world has given me.
Well, I thank you guys. Make sure you stay tuned and go check them out. And it was great talking to you. I learned some things, and I definitely want to have you I'm definitely gonna need to come and see you work and catch up on your movies. I gotta see you in action. And thank you for coming
Absolutely.
on Let's Talk Sports and Entertainment with C.
Yo, thank you, C. Appreciate it. Shout out to your family. Love and everything. All right.
All righty.